Welcome to the podcast INQUA India 2027, Season 3.
You know what? Podcasting is all about connecting with the people. And here, I, Veraa, have been connecting with you for over a year with these INQUA podcasts. I'm very much sure that by now everyone should be familiar with the word quaternary. So bringing you another episode of INQUA India 2027, this is me, Veraa. So let's hear about evolutionary and genetic history of Indians. South Asia today, think of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal and Sri Lanka, is one of the most densely populated and diverse regions in the world. We see that diversity everywhere, in languages, in traditions, but it doesn't stop there. Even in our very DNA, we carry that variety. But have you ever wondered, where does all this variety come from? So here's the big question. Where does all this diversity come from? To answer that, let's go back to thousands of years. From the earliest people who settled in the Indian subcontinent, we have had many cultural layers added over time. Archaeologists have long recorded the traces of these cultures in prehistoric and historic sites. But there is another side to the story: genetics. DNA can show us not only who lived here, but also how groups mixed, moved, or stayed apart. One of the big mysteries has been the spread of Indo-European languages. These languages, spoken from Europe all the way to India, must have spread somehow. But did the people who spoke them migrate into South Asia, bringing their DNA with them? Or was it more about cultural exchange, where the ideas spread, but people didn't? The evidence isn't simple, and scientists are still working it out. And then, through historic times, we see more records of movement. Traders, migrants, even invaders coming into South Asia from different parts of Eurasia. These repeated waves of contact left their marks over thousands of years, coupled with local practices like inbreeding, marrying within one's group, and the caste system. These events created an incredibly complex and distinctive genetic landscape in India. And trust me, it's not just about history. These patterns still affect health today. For example, because of inbreeding, some communities carry a heavier load of genetic diseases. Founder effects, when a small group's DNA gets amplified over generations, also shape medical profiles across populations. So understanding where we came from isn't only about curiosity. It matters for medical genetics and the health of future generations. Now here we see, for a long time, scientists could not study modern DNA, meaning the DNA of people alive today. That gave us clues. Modern South Asians clearly have ancestry from multiple ancient groups. But what about the details? Who exactly were in these groups? When did they arrive? And how much did they mix? Those answers remained fuzzy. This is where archaeogenetics enters. Sounds technical? Right. But really, it's straightforward. It means studying ancient DNA, the genetic material recovered from old human remains like bones or teeth found in archaeological digs. Imagine opening a time capsule that lets you look directly into the past. The challenge was DNA decays over time. In hot and humid regions like South Asia, scientists used to think good quality ancient DNA was impossible to recover. But advances in technology, things like next generation sequencing, have changed that. Now we can extract and analyze DNA thousands of years old, even in tough conditions. And the discoveries have been groundbreaking. Take the Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's earliest urban cultures. For decades, there were theories about its ancestry. Did it have links to steppe pastoralists or Iranian farmers? But when researchers successfully analyzed an ancient genome from Harappa, the results surprised everyone. The DNA did not show ancestry from those groups, overturning old hypotheses and sparkling international debate. Another striking example comes from Roopkund Lake, high in the Himalayas. Locals had long told stories about skeletons lying in and around the glacial lake. When scientists tested their DNA, they found something astonishing: two distinct groups. One group was South Asian, as expected, but the other, they had clear genetic ties to the Eastern Mediterranean. Imagine people from as far away as the Mediterranean somehow ending up at a Himalayan lake centuries ago. Other sites from Gujarat to Kerala have also revealed important stories. Deep regional continuities mixed with episodes of mobility and interaction. Step by step, these studies are showing us the intricate patterns of South Asian population history. What's exciting is that researchers now have access to over 1,000 ancient DNA samples dating from about 10,000 years ago to just 500 years ago. With this timeline, they are piecing together South Asia's demographic history more clearly than ever before. And the questions they are asking are big ones. How did huge population shift shape the people living here today? And what happened when societies transitioned from hunting and gathering to farming? And of course, how did ancient populations adapt, developing tolerance for certain diets, building resistance to diseases, or evolving other traits? The answers paint a picture that's anything but simple. South Asia's past is not just a single story of one group arriving and staying put. Instead, it is a rich woven fabric. Populations moved in, some blended, some stayed distinct, and together they created the incredible diversity we see today. And here's the beautiful part, that deep history is still alive. It is inside us. It is in our DNA, carried by over 1 billion people across South Asia. Every family, every community carries threads of that long, complex journey. So next time, when you think of South Asia's diversity, in its music, in its languages, in its food, remember, it is not just culture. It is in our genes. It is in our history. And it connects us across thousands of years. Don't you think it was an amazing piece of information about evolutionary and genetic history of Indians? And we should thank Dr. Niraj Rai from Birbal Sahni Institute of Paleosciences, Lucknow. So this is me, Veera, ending this episode of INQUA India 2027 podcast. But next time, what am I going to talk about? You just have to wait for that. Till then, be happy, and enjoy your life.